Welcome to The Human Experience, a podcast about the stories we live out every day and the importance of championing the vulnerability and courage of the storyteller. I'm your host, Jennifer Peterkin, and it was through my own lived story of experiencing domestic violence that this podcast was created. By traveling the globe and interviewing each guest in person, I am convinced now more than ever that stories have the power to change the world. You can join our community of storytellers by subscribing, leaving a rating and review, signing up for my newsletter, following me on Instagram, and more. Thank you for being here. In a world full of noise, to listen with intention is an act of resistance. Episode 60 of The Human Experience is Celeste's story. When Celeste was finishing school and trying to figure out her next steps, she was sure that her life would lead her into a career in agriculture. In fact, she spent years training for it, even going to Canada for a time to tend and train horses. Looking for a change, she then set into a career in massage therapy, but injury would keep her from pursuing it permanently. At a loss and not sure what her next steps would be, it was a coaching program advertised on social media that ultimately led her to her passion and purpose. Now, Celeste is a coach helping others with their inner work and healing to help them create the life they've dreamed of. This episode was recorded in Odense, Denmark. So, Celeste, we are in Denmark right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's another one I'm going to try to pronounce. Odense?
Odense.
Odense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So no, don't pronounce the D. Got it.
It's weird.
No, it's just not English, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Odense. Okay, so we are recording here where you are from. Well, the area you are from. And have you lived here all of your life?
In Denmark, yes. I'm from another island in Denmark, so I just recently moved here, actually.
Okay.
Because, like we just talked about, I'm drawn to nature, and I find that the other side of the bridge, where I come from, there's a little more space. There's a little more nature.
Okay. Are you from, like, the main island?
Yeah, the same where Copenhagen is, but south.
Okay.
Something called Næstved.
Okay, Næstved.
Yeah.
I think Danish is very interesting, and I have not gotten a handle on it. So
it's difficult.
I need to try harder, I think. But yeah, it's beautiful, but I'm having a hard time like reading it. I don't know what to do with the letters sometimes.
yeah, because we have a lot of letters that you don't say, or you say different ways. Like Odense, you would say Odense or Odense.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yes. Well, you're very gracious. Thank you. Okay, so you grew up. You're here. You're from Denmark.
Yes.
But we were just talking about the fact that you would love to travel more.
Yes, I love traveling and talking to new people and get to meet new people and especially see other places and nature. Again, I'm very in tune with nature. I love to see nature. So,
where did that? Have you always felt that way, or did you kind of find that growing up?
Yeah, I've always felt that way. I grew up on a small farm, not active, but kind of a old farm. So I've always been around animals and nature in that way. So maybe it comes from there, but I think it's just in me somehow.
Because does your family have the same inclination? Are they as drawn to it as you are?
My mother, yes, and I think my father was too, but my sister's not as much.
Okay.
I'm more into the hippie kind of.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
So when you talk about your story, and this is a big question, so take this however you want. There's no wrong answer. When we talk about your story, what does that mean to you?
Kind of how I grew up.
Yeah, like where would you start your story?
Oh, well, kind of growing up, I was a quiet girl, very shy, or what you would call shy, right? And very not confident, very low self-worth and very sensitive and all of that. So I was very, I'm not sure how to explain it, but I was very insecure.
Yeah. I can relate to that a lot.
So I kind of grew up in a normal family, and like I sit on a farm, so kind of very away from civilization, kind of, and just I love that. So, but
yeah, it was quiet, so it
exactly.
was it was good for you. Not too much hustle and bustle.
So I had to learn a lot when then you go to school and you have to be around people. So that's something I'm still working on. Connecting with people and being around people. So I study that a lot. I'm a nerd, so I study everything. If there's something I don't know, I figure it out. I read books and I listen to podcasts. I watch videos. So
that's great.
Any way I can learn.
Yeah. I love that. That's a great way to be. I mean, just knowing that we never stop learning, right? So
exactly. Yeah, life is a lesson, big lesson.
Yeah, it should be. We should treat it like that. I think sometimes we don't, and we're the ones that suffer for that. But if we continue to seek and learn, it can be a very rewarding thing, even if you're in a place that you don't necessarily enjoy being, right? Because
exactly,
it's part of the learning experience, part of the journey.
That's a big lesson.
Yeah. So you grew up on a farm. When did you end up moving away from home?
When I was 16, I went to an agricultural school. I didn't really know what I wanted after school, so I just, that's where I come from, my family of farmers. So that's just, and I knew I didn't want to study. I wanted to take a break, so I just went there, and you still learn, but it's a lot more physical, and you go out and you're driving a tractor. You learn how to take care of the animals and so on. So it was different than if you go to
like a university.
Exactly, if you take the next step. So
that's very interesting. So you graduate at 16 here? Or
around 15, 16, I think that's what you call, what is it? But it's when you're, 15, 16.
Okay.
Is it like high school?
Yeah,
and then you go to, what's the next?
College would be the next.
Okay. Yeah,
thing.
so that's what we call a gymnasium.
Oh.
I think that's 3 years.
Okay.
And then you go to what we call university. That's the biggest, the next step.
Okay. Yes. So maybe middle school and then high school and then...
Yeah,
okay.
Could be. Yeah, we just call it's all just in one, from year 6 till you're 16. And then you have 3 years, and then you figure out what you want and if you want to go to university.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the rules are obviously so different here in Europe than the United States.
Very.
Because a lot of it is subsidized, correct? I mean, I'm assuming that's why there are so many rules in terms of like where you can go and how you can get in and that kind of stuff. Do you have...
you need there are some credentials, or what you say, like you need to have a certain grade to go to some places at least. Yeah.
And do they kind of... So my only frame of reference for this is in Germany and Romania, and both of those are different too. But they kind of have like you test into different levels of like you could either go to university or you could go to like a technical school. Like if you didn't make it into university, so you could do like another. Is it kind of the same or?
Maybe I think Denmark is a lot like Germany, but. In many areas, not exactly, but in many areas we are more like Germany. But I'm not sure. Like again, I said I kind of skipped all of that.
Yeah,
so.
No, that's true. I don't. Maybe we shouldn't even be talking about it. But I do think it's very interesting the options you have because we don't have those options. Yeah. Like, not going on to your what sounds like the high school. And going in a different direction, agricultural school. Very cool, by the way. Like, very cool option. That's just not even really a thing in the States.
And we get paid for it.
Ooh, even better.
Exactly. Yeah, we get some support from the state. It's not a lot, but it's so you can, if you make a little bit money on the side, you can do it. You don't have to, as I understand that, parents usually pay for education. We don't.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Your parents either pay for your education or you're taking out loans that you will almost never be able to pay back.
Yeah.
So
exactly. So we are very privileged, and that's also the reason why I'm very grateful for for growing up, being born in Denmark. And
Europe definitely has that figured out more than we do. That's one of the things. So you go to our agricultural school. How long is that?
Depends on how long you want to go. I took everything. So that was from 2009. I started when I was 16, and then to 2014.
Okay.
So I took the next layers. That's our like leading position and project management and things like that. So you could, the just farmer is, I think, 2 years, around 2-3 years.
Okay.
Because then you have a year of where you work, and then you have 5 months of school, and then you have 15 months of work, and then you have school again. So it's very practical, but it's a practical education.
Yeah,
but most of our education has this practical experience where you go out into a business and a company, and then you are there for some time and you learn. So it's not just school work, but you actually get some experience,
lived experience.
Exactly.
Who would have thought? That would be helpful. So you finish in 2014. You could do basically anything with agriculture after this?
I could do a lot of things, but it changed just sometimes, and it was very new. This one that I took, so it was not known by a lot of people.
Okay.
So you couldn't just go out and say, I have this education, what job can I get? It's kind of, you had to kind of explain what this is, because it was new in that way.
Interesting.
But yeah, you could be in a bank and do loan things or something, from an agricultural perspective, or
interesting.
Maybe some kind of consulting or something.
Wow.
But yeah, a lot of inside the agricultural area.
A lot of opportunity. Yeah. That's great. And I mean, for 5 years of education, you would hope so, but that's great. So what did you end up doing after?
Traveling. That's because, like I said, I didn't know what I wanted, so I just, went with it. And then I actually wanted to travel right after just taking the first as a farmer part. But then I ended up didn't go, and then I went to visit some of my friends there, and then I started up again. So I just took the last 1.5 years. So I got everything, and then I traveled after.
Okay. And what did that look like for you? Where did you go? How long were you away?
I went to Canada.
Okay.
In Manitoba.
Okay.
Training horses.
Okay. Very interesting. And how did you get there?
Well, again, horses and nature. So that was what I was looking for. And I went to this, it was kind of this working holiday where you work, you do some stuff, and then you live there for free. You get boarding and food and so on.
Yes.
So I did that at a German woman, actually, who moved there, who did some horsemanship stuff. Actually, I wanted to go to Iceland, but because she had this trainer program, I wanted to go there.
Okay.
And I was there for almost a year. Left in October and came back in June.
Wonderful.
Or something. Yeah.
So I have heard that called voluntourism, where you kind of are somewhere volunteering and you get room and board, but you're also able to see a new place.
Exactly.
But
it's a great way to travel, actually. I would love to do that again. It's a great way.
I think it is. I mean, if you're not, in a career path that you have to stay in, you have some flexibility. It really can be.
Or just want a year off or something. Yeah. Or just a half a year, a few months. Yeah.
And I feel like I have not done it personally, so I can't speak too much to it. But from what I have seen, there's a lot of really great, grassroots efforts that kind of are sustained through that. Like, it's not necessarily these big corporations or big organizations, but some smaller, locally run things that you're not getting the like luxury.
Like you don't have money to pay someone to have employees, so you use these, like you say, volunteer.
Yeah, that's really cool. So had you worked? Was horses a part of your growing up, or was it part of your education, or both?
It was a hobby. It was my interest. Yeah. You could choose there was a, you choose direction, specialty. You could choose horses, but it's very hard to get places, the practical places to. So I just went with farming instead. With pigs.
Okay.
I chose pigs, and it was just it's just more of a hobby.
Okay.
I just always loved horses.
So you did have some experience to be able to start doing this,
but not a lot. That's why I wanted to get the education, because I really wanted my own horse, but I didn't feel like I knew enough to be able to take care of my own. So
Okay. So, what did you think of Canada?
Amazing.
Yeah. How different? I mean, still very cold up there. So, what were kind of the differences for you in living in a new place like that? I'm assuming that was your first time living away from home.
Definitely. Everything is different. Something I noticed was that everything is bigger.
Yeah.
Like everything in Denmark, when you get an orange or it's everything's just bigger, So that was one thing.
Yeah.
And but it's just very, very different culture.
Sure. Very different.
And that's also what I love to experience, or why I wanted to travel in this way instead of just being a tourist, because I like to know the people and the culture.
Sure, you stay in a place long enough, you start to build relationships, and absolutely. So you stayed there for almost a year, and then you moved back to Denmark?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what was next for you?
I was working a little bit, taking care of pigs. Again, I don't know what your word is for it, but and then, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, so this was the time where I'm kind of figuring out what do I want? What do I want to do for the rest of my life? What do I like doing? What is kind of my purpose? Something.
Yeah.
So I was reflecting a lot on that. I do that a lot, but into kind of what makes me feel happy, like what makes me feel appreciated. And then I just started, journaling, writing, and found out that it was, my mother has some kind of massage course. So she used to do massages on us. So I knew a little bit about that. And so in school, I used to do it a little bit on some of my classmates. And they loved it, and they were so happy, and they would come and ask me sometimes, and hey, would you give me some massage? And I was like, sure. So that kind of was the thing where I felt needed, I felt appreciated. So I took a massage course while working, and then I just went on from there to massage therapist, body therapist, and acupuncture. So I have a lot of educations in that area.
Wow. Yeah. Big switch.
Totally.
But that's totally great. I mean, I think that we sometimes, and I can only speak for Americans, but I feel like this might be a little bit universal, that when you're that age, late teens, early 20s, you're done with school and you're supposed to start, quote unquote, the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. It's so intimidating because you feel a lot older than you are. You feel like you should have this figured out. You should know what's next, and you don't. And sometimes you think you do, and then you go down that path and you realize this is not what I want at all. And so I think it's very good when people can actually say, hey, I started doing this and then I switched because I changed my mind.
You don't have to be set on something just because you took this education. That's why I tell every young person who doesn't know what they want to do, I'd say experiment, like try it out, because you don't know it until you've tried it. So if they're interested in something, well, just try it, because that's the only way you know how,
exactly,
if this is for me. Because I've tried a lot of things where I thought, oh, I wanted this, but then I figured out doing it that it wasn't.
yes.
So.
Yeah, because there are things that we romanticize things in our head as human beings anyway, I think. Yeah. And then, you think you're going to be good at something, and maybe you are, but it doesn't bring you joy, or it doesn't, fulfill you in a way that it needs to. So, yeah, I think it's super important to know that you can change your mind. And I think I've found myself telling this to people recently, like some late teen, early 20 people that I know, like, nothing is permanent. Like there are very few things that are permanent. And so you can change your mind. You can change your direction. It doesn't mean it's not going to be hard or that it's not a ton of work, but if you want to, you can. And so, because I think one of the most paralyzing things at that age is, what if I make the wrong choice?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I have to be stuck with that for the rest of my life.
Yeah. So it's not even the choice of like, what do I want to do? It's what don't I want to do that I think is more intimidating. And yeah, just if there is any, I mean, I'm not that old, so I don't want to like pretend I'm some old sage wisdom keeper, but I'm approaching 35. So I feel like I have just enough years under my belt to say this, looking back, 15 years ago, and say like, truly, it's not as serious as you think it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't take it too serious. I do that, too. Tend to. Yeah.
Yeah. So, from farming to massage, acupuncture. So, you said your mom does this? Or she did this?
She took a course, and then she did a little bit on us and a few of her friends, but it's not something she's doing a lot.
Oh, okay. So, it wasn't a business, but she...
No,
okay.
It was just, when we had something...
That's really nice. I wish my mom did that.
Yeah. Well, she has very long nails and she don't cut them or, shape them. So it's not that.
Oh, it's not that nice. Okay. Well, that's fair.
Or I tell her to cut them.
So you experienced it, learned a little bit from it, started doing it for other people.
Took it all the way, went all in.
All in. Love it.
Exactly.
And did you find that it was fulfilling for you?
Yes, in many ways. Like I started my own clinic and I was working for a chiropractor and also at a point another massage therapist. So yeah, I did it.
I love it. That's great. So what I love, first of all, I'm a huge fan of massage therapy and acupuncture. I do both of those things. And I have chronic back pain from a sports injury from when I was a teenager. And acupuncture is the only thing that has helped me in like a more than a day way,
Yeah.
And I've done everything short of surgery. So I just like when I say I'm a fan, I am a fan.
Yeah.
So how is it? I don't know what the culture is like here for you, but for us, that would be those things are considered like alternative modalities, right?
Yeah.
It's not
still
healthcare.
They are getting more accepted, but
Okay.
there's still there are a lot of people who are still a little bit, take it a little bit of distance, like. What is that?
Yeah.
But it's getting more and more accepted because, more people know about it, and there's a lot of more research and science, and plus you can feel it, like you say, it works for some people, and that's again experimenting, figuring out what works for you, because there's so many different styles now.
Yeah. So, what caused you to pursue this? Like, I know you started with the massage because it was something practical, but you clearly kept going because you're talking about things that are beyond just massage therapy.
Yeah.
So once you kind of dove into that world, what was that like for you that kept you going and kept you pursuing?
I think it was helping people, like making people feel happy, making them feel better. Like they come in with pain and they leave feeling better, and they're very grateful, and they're like, "Thank you so much," and that's that's nice.
That's
but
good.
it was like helping people.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and you said you had your own business?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still have your own business?
Yes, but I don't do the therapy anymore because
Right.
I had to stop because it was too hard on my wrists and my fingers and my hands.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
So
I employ these services. So sometimes I'm like, I don't understand how this person is continuing to do this day after day, because it feels like it's a lot on your body to kind of do these things, especially massage.
yeah, and the worst part about it is that the prices are being taken down that much because there's
Really?
both competition, but also because it's seen as maybe not that high value. So, and like you say, it's really hard. So if you had to do 8-hour massage days, that would be to most people impossible. So you kind of have to, if you say you have 4 or 5 clients in a day, they have to, pay for a full day. So a lot of people don't understand that you also have taxes, you have a rent, you have warm, you have insurance, you have a lot of other things you need to pay for. And when people say it's expensive, it's really isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. I mean, when you're paying small business people in general, right, that's something good to keep in mind because...
Yeah, I always do, see, it's a lot of money. I get it, but it's not a lot of money to them. Like they get a regular salary. It's not because they are rich.
Right. They have to cover all their expenses.
I've never heard a therapist massage of any kind who were rich.
Yeah.
You do it because you love it. You don't do it to make money because it's not a...
It seems like a pretty thankless job.
Yeah, in that way, yeah.
Yeah.
You get paid in, like I said, gratitude and because you get to help other people, but not in money.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, and even so, I feel like maybe, please correct me if I'm wrong, but you have people that are very grateful for, what you can do, but I feel like it's probably not everybody, and what you're doing is so physically taxing on you to then not receive the gratitude. It's just something that you have to deal with, right? And I feel like a lot of people in a lot of different jobs deal with that, but it's something that we should think about when we are asking, for something or complaining about how much we're paying.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah, like I said, you do it because you love it. It's like farming. You do it because you love it. You don't do it to make money because it's not a money magnet.
Yeah.
Some people can make a really good living because they're very good, or you can do it in different ways, like then do a course and then you teach, then you have an app or something, then you can maybe make a little bit more money. But the conventional way is not a...
Yeah. And you said competition. Like, is there a lot of people offering this?
Yeah, because also, like I said, like my mother, there's a lot of people who are not doing it professionally. So they do it for 200 Danish, let's say, right? That's pretty cheap. And so you go to someone like that instead of paying a lot more for a professional.
Yeah. Oh, wow. 200 is really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Danish, by the way, not US dollars. Let's clarify that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't do... I can't do the head calculating.
I don't know exactly what it is either, but I know it's pretty cheap.
Usually 5 point... I usually say 6 when I change from US to Danish.
I just use my currency calculator on my phone because I can't keep it straight, to be honest.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so you have to give that up. At what point do you kind of have to throw in the towel and say, I can't do this anymore?
when my wrists started to, like, they were warm, they were kind of inflamed. There was inflammation in them. I think I had them wrapped up.
Yeah.
Because they started to hurt, and when I did everything or certain movements, so that's when I said, "Yeah, that's enough."
Yeah, and this is, I think, kind of what we talked about beforehand in terms of like the thing that kind of shifted you in.
Yeah, that's
and
when it
set
started.
You on a new,
yeah, exactly.
Your new path. So, okay, so how does that feel emotionally? I guess too, to feel like you found your thing, right? The thing that it was yours. You could help people.
Yeah.
And now you don't have it anymore.
Oh yeah, terrible. I was confused, felt lost. Like I had no idea what to do. And that's when I kind of, I think unconsciously, because I remember this certain point, I was in between clients where I worked. And I was thinking about this because I knew, like, this is it. I can't do this anymore. And I closed my eyes and kind of sent out this prayer, more or less unconsciously, like, tell me what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. Give me a sign, send me like something. I want to do something like this, but I cannot do this. Well, like, what to do?
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
So that was, and that was when it kind of, I think that was the ripple effect, like the first part of, like, I'm willing to do anything. And that was, I think, one of the big things or very important things when you want to do anything is that you're willing to do anything. And that's kind of when then I started attracting a lot of other things.
Okay. So this is very suspenseful. What happened next?
So about a week later, or the next week at least, I was looking at Facebook and this ad popped up. And it was just a long text with this picture of a woman. And it said something around money. It's like, money is speed, I think it was. And, I wasn't looking for anything around money, but it just caught me. I just felt, had this feeling like, oh, I need to read this. And I read it and I was completely, like, obsessed with it. It just caught me. Again, it was just the energy in it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was for a webinar, this ad. So I signed up for that. And it was, I think, later that week or something. So, and I was like, really excited because I just had this feeling of, or just knowing that this is it. Like, this was the answer to my prayer, to my question. Like,
wow.
This is, I could just feel it,
yeah,
intuitive. And so, yeah, I was just waiting for this webinar, and I couldn't even watch it, live. So I had to. I don't remember what I was doing, but I came home and it was late in the middle of the night, kind of. So I listened to this webinar, and before it was over, I had signed up for it because, again, I could just feel that this was what I needed. This was what was going to help me, and everything she talked about was. I don't even remember it because I was so, like, high on this, but about, and this is where the big change came, because she was talking a lot about first energy and responsibility, and she was a spiritual business mentor, kind of. So she was kind of combining business and spirituality and the law of attraction, energy work, and. Yeah, that's
so. So she just randomly popped up on your Facebook.
Completely.
It's like a.
Well, maybe it had been there before, but I didn't notice because it wasn't.
But it wasn't, I don't
like remember it.
You were friends with her.
No. It was an ad. That came up. Like, are you interested in this?
Yeah. And you were like, no. Yes, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. But I don't consciously recall seeing it.
Yeah.
But it might have been there, but I've never noticed it because it wasn't the right time. So it wasn't until it was the right time.
Yeah. So the webinar was, I'm guessing, free. Like the free webinar,
exactly,
and then you could buy her program?
Yeah, and it was the first time I did anything online. It was an online program.
Okay.
And it was the first time I've spend so much money on something like this.
Was that scary to kind of jump into that?
Yeah, a little bit, because like we said before, as a massage therapist, you don't get a lot of money. I think I had around 10,000 Danish a month to do for, and I don't remember what. There's maybe like $500. I'm not sure.
Okay,
we can look at that, but 10,000 Danish. That's not a lot. That's what you get if you're like at a regular low salary.
Yeah.
And it was 3 months my salary that I paid for that course, and I was it 25 maybe? I think it was 25. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
that's a very big deal. So yeah, I imagine it's scary anyway, but to put that much money that you aren't really sure if you're going to get a return on it, right?
No, no, you're not. You're just taking a risk.
Yeah.
And it was, again, just to learn. So
yeah. So was it a course, or was she kind of mentoring you personally?
Both. There was, the online course where she did these audios, where she then had a subject, and then there was tasks. Then you did something, one of the things actually was clairvoyance.
Okay.
Was a big part, actually the biggest part of this course, because she used intuition to guide you to what is the next step, what do you have to do, and how do you attract, and so on.
Yeah.
And then there was Q&As 2 times a month or something, where you could ask a question and she would answer. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So what, I guess, was the overall purpose of the course? Like, what was it leading you to?
It was to, make your own business. And so it was also about, to me, then discovering what is it that you want, because she took it from scratch, what do you want? And then building up, how do you do it? How do you, target and funnels and things like that? How to do webinars and all of that. So, and then the energetic part, like cleaning up and using intuition. It was like all around.
Yeah. So, and then you started your own business from this.
So I already had my own business, but I changed it because I stopped doing the massage therapy, and then I started to, I also dance.
Okay.
Belly dance, oriental, modern belly dance kind of. So, and that's one of my passions. So that's what I kind of brought in instead. And a little bit of, I was going more towards the mental and energetic part of healing instead of the physical. So instead of body, it was also mind and soul.
Okay.
So now I got all of them, but then I was going there.
Okay. So what is your business then?
Now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's changed a few times. So I had, in the beginning, it was intuition.
Okay.
Finding your way, like I did, find out what it is you want, especially for young people. And then it's been like healing, and just, I have a few healing courses, do theta healing, and also have a Reiki and some stuff. And then it's been about finding your dream job, because your job is a big part of what you do when you spend so much time on it. So to me, it only makes sense that you do something that you love. And so I want to help people find out what they want, kind of, you could say kind of study counseling or something like that, but more in the energetic part of how to attract the, first find out what it is you want, and then attract that job, find that job.
Okay. So how did you kind of create this for yourself after doing the course? Like, what was the trajectory for you from, okay, I'm taking this course, it's resonating with me in a really meaningful way, and now I'm going to shift my business, myself to align with this? Like, what were those big changes for you?
They were personal, mostly. Yes, I learned a lot about business and so on, but it was, like I said, about learning that you can do what you want, and you have to take responsibility for your life, and that you can do that. And that gives you, especially if you grew up like me, where you just put the blame on everyone else and you say that's the world or that's school or that's the state, that's the system. Instead, you take responsibility and you say, okay, what can I do? How did I put myself in this situation and how can I get myself out of it?
Yeah.
So that's been the biggest change besides, intuition. That it's a superpower. That was number one lesson, but also the second one, that everything is possible.
Yeah.
Maybe not everything, but you can do whatever you want if you want it.
I mean, I think there's such value in the responsibility piece. I mean, regardless of where you are or what you believe, I think we could all use that reminder of you can't control. There are things you can't control. So what can you control in your situation, and what can you change?
Exactly, precisely. Yeah.
Yeah. There are always going to be outside
Except
factors.
what you can and change what you cannot.
Exactly. So, I think there is, and I love the word responsibility or accountability, right? Because it is very easy to kind of pass the buck and say, it was because of this, that, or the other reason that this didn't work out. And there may be truth to that. It may not have been your fault. But what are you going to do with that, right? Like,
exactly. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. Are you going to continue on, or are you going to change direction? Once again, coming back to that, like, are you just going to pivot and figure something else out, and use this as a learning experience to kind of springboard yourself into your next whatever? Yeah.
Learn and grow.
Yeah. So the intuition piece, what does that kind of mean in the context of what you're doing or what
everything? Okay. I do everything from my intuition. Every person like you that I contact, it's what do I feel? Like, do I feel like we're a match? I don't just go to everyone saying, hey, you and you and you and you. I see you and I feel your energy and I feel, is this something I should do? And then if not, I don't. And if I feel like yes, then I do it. And I do that with everything, like basically all through my day from when I get up, like, and sometimes kind of what should I eat and what should I wear? It's all from intuition. And I can see through experience that all of those small things, they lead me to the bigger ones.
Okay.
And that's why, because you cannot, when you are working with this attraction part and the energy part, you cannot think your way to, like, I'm here, how do I get from here to there? Well, you can think about it, and then you might think, oh, that's impossible. But if you use your intuition, it might say, oh, you do that, and then you do this, and then you meet this person, and then you go there, and then it all works out.
Okay. Right? So do you think then, from your perspective, it's kind of something, I mean, we all have intuition, right? So is it more of like a muscle that we stretch?
Totally. Yeah.
It's like, it's you're not using
like
it.
A muscle.
So.
Yeah. You have to, you learn it by practicing.
Yeah.
We all have this. Yeah. Some people call it gut feeling. Some people call it instinct. It doesn't matter what you call it, but you just know it's there. You just have this feeling that something is off.
Yeah.
You don't know why. You can't explain it. You just know.
Yeah. Not to take this in a totally like depressing direction, but it's a great way to start a sentence.
It's getting interesting, yeah. I'm listening.
You're like, why am I here? No, I do a lot of work or advocacy work for victims of domestic violence. That's my background as well. So, and it's something I've actually been talking about a lot recently is I've called it gut feeling or intuition. And just the idea that the farther down this road I walk of, having my own experience, but then helping other people as well, is when you think something's wrong, something's wrong. And it's really interesting to kind of come to this conclusion of, okay, I've known all along, and my mind is doing mental gymnastics to try to talk myself out of it, right? To like, try to pacify it or tell me I'm overreacting or, creating something. And I've said this multiple times in the past couple of months as I've been talking about domestic violence is if you feel like something is wrong, it's probably worse than you are letting yourself believe it is. Like you're probably farther down that road than you think you are, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not something we're really paying attention to. So once it finally gets your attention,
it's like it's a red flag.
Yeah, like the sirens have been going off, but you're not paying attention, and then all of a sudden you're getting, the bridge is out, you're coming to the end, and you're finally starting to realize, things are not what I thought they were. So I do think that there is something so intrinsically valuable about that. What was it like was it kind of jarring at first to try to employ that method of intuition, and like how did you grow in that?
Yeah, it's like walking into a deep black hole. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's on the other side, because again, you just have to trust your intuition and what it tells you.
Yeah.
So that's that can be kind of nerve-wracking.
Sure.
Because you have to take also some big steps. Maybe you have to do a lot of things you don't want to do. So you kind of you need again the will to, I want this, listen to your intuition and then trust it and actually do it, because there's a big step from knowing something like you said and actually acting on it and do something about it.
Yeah. I just think like we have been so conditioned to, especially as women, to like distrust our emotional responses to things, right? To say like we're overreacting, we're dramatic, we're, all of these negative connotations with our feelings towards things. And I just think like there always needs to be balance, right? But there is I think maybe we've done such a disservice to ourselves as people and especially to women by kind of villainizing these or vilifying these, I combined two words there, sorry. Vilifying these things, emotions, and making them out to be just so
too much.
Too much. Yeah. So to do that, to follow your emotions, to follow things that you're feeling would just be totally nonsensical.
Exactly. And especially because if you know a little bit about yin and yang, intuition is the female strength, is actually a part of our energy.
Well, there it is.
But, we don't use it. We don't trust it, for a lot of different reasons. But most people, and especially women, don't use it. But we have a natural connection to it. We just have to find out why we're afraid of tapping into that.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I just think it's a really cool concept. And I think it has a lot more real world application than people think it does, right? I think some people hear this and they think just, again, kind of the bad connotations of like, like, what is that going to do for anybody? That's not empirical. It's not practical, but it is. Like if we talk every day about like animals using their instincts.
Yeah. Why do they run away from storms before we even know they're coming? It's not it's a natural thing, but we don't know how to. We're not that natural anymore. We're too civilized to.
We're not tuned in to our own instincts.
But one of the things I love to do about that, because again, I'm a nerd. I love to take these words like intuition and manifestation and actually, picking them out and saying, okay, what exactly does this mean? And how, what is it?
Yeah.
But that also might be different from person to person. But
so a lot of what you do now is kind of leading people into this or walking them through it?
Yeah, especially like no matter what I do, you can take different angles on it. So whether it's about finding your dream job, finding your education or your partner, soulmate, it's basically about the same thing, the energy and, knowing what you want, knowing how to get it. And the thing about, especially what I've seen, and because law of attraction has been such a popular thing lately, is that they talk about, A, but they don't, and they talk about B, like, where are you, where do you want to go? But they don't talk about the middle, which is how do you get from there to there? And that's where you use intuition.
Yeah.
Because again, you cannot think your way. Well, you can, and maybe it works, but it's going to be hard, and you have to do all of these things. If you just listen to intuition and do what it's telling you, it's going to be much easier, and it's going to come sometimes faster and in ways you did not imagine.
And even I think just from like a practical point too, we are more inclined to do things that we enjoy, right? Or that we find purpose or meaning in, right? So like when you're talking about getting from point A to point B and how to get there, if you're forcing yourself to do things that you don't want to do, what's the likelihood that you're going to give up versus doing things that may not seem like the fastest way to get there, but like doing things that
are uncomfortable.
Yeah. But that fulfill you, right? That you're not opposed to doing. I think our will is, or our motivation is so important.
Definitely.
Right? So if we're not motivated to do something, what's the likelihood that we're going to do it?
Exactly. And also maybe another thing is because something, at least the people I follow now, motivation is out, because it's not about, then you have to motivate yourself all the time, but it's actually about commitment. It's just, you say, I do this, you don't have to be motivated about it. It's like a habit. You're just doing it because you want to, or you at least you did know you have the end, the dream, the result, right?
Yeah. I think there is a lot of practical application in the way that we approach that part of our lives, right? How we move down the path, how we make decisions, why we're making those decisions.
Exactly. And then we have to stick to that result, because like you said, we don't want to do things we don't want to do, but you still have to do things that are uncomfortable if you want to go there. Like if you want to be a professional sports athlete, something, well, you have to train hard, maybe even if you don't want to. And also, especially the days you don't want to, you have to be in television, even if you don't want to, and if it's uncomfortable, because millions of people are going to look at you. So you have to remember that there are those steps that are uncomfortable, but you have to do them to get there. So it's not just about doing what you like. And that's why you need intuition to tell you, am I not doing this because I don't want to? Or am I not doing this because my intuition actually telling me I shouldn't do this? Not always about just doing what you want. It's about, knowing what is right.
Yeah.
Not what you want or what is good, but but what do you need? Because also you need to learn some things. Like if you want to be a sports athlete, you need to learn how to hit a ball, if that's the thing, right? You need to learn how to run, and if that's the thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of learning and doing.
Well, I think that's a good point too. I mean, it's kind of, it makes sense in that, again, it's practical. We are not always going to enjoy every part of what we're doing. And that's not really necessarily the goal anyway, like enjoyment all of the time. There are things that
you want to, but
yeah, right. There are things that are always going to be hard. And I think it's great to actually talk about that in this sphere as well of, in growth, in, employing methods to make your life better, to try to introspection and try to grow in any meaningful way, however you do that. it's important that we realize that it's not always going to be our favorite thing to do. It's not always going to feel super good.
Exactly.
But I do think there's a difference between being uncomfortable and being, I don't know what word I want to use, but discomfort is not a bad thing. But feeling out of place, or like you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, or it's not where you want to be. I mean, I think that's a valuable thing to listen to.
My teacher, one of my teachers, she calls it like this the panic zone. And then the comfort zone. You want to go outside of the comfort zone, but you don't want to be in the panic zone. Because that's where you freeze up, or that's too much. You know, you shouldn't do too much, because that can also overwhelm you. And like you said, fear comes up and blocks, and then you're gonna be completely, paralyzed.
Yeah.
So you want to be between those two zones. Like, you want to step out of comfort zone, but you don't want to go into panic zone.
Yeah. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said in like 30 words what I was trying to say.
You can use it.
Oh,
it's
thank
not
you.
mine.
Okay. We're just going to edit out all of the things that I said, because I used way too many words to describe that.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
But yeah, I think, no, it's a beautiful testament to the fact that you do have to earn it, right? You do have to earn things in your life. It can't all just come easy. Then you don't really understand what you have or what it means. And I don't mean that in like you have to go through extremes, right? Like trauma and, the most difficult things. I don't think that has to be, you don't have to go through those things to learn and grow. But adversity does refine us in a way. And even if that adversity is just within ourselves and moving through the discomfort of change, I think change is one of the things that we struggle with the most as humans, which is unfortunate because we are constantly changing.
Exactly. That's the weird thing about it. Like, you don't want change, but you cannot avoid it. Like, that's permanent. The only permanent thing is change.
That's true. The only permanent thing is that nothing is going to stay the same.
Exactly. Yeah. But I've learned that for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what does life look like for you now in terms of looking back, where you started in agricultural school to where you are now? I mean, you've gone through some big changes in your life.
Yeah. And this is just half of it. We all have our story, so.
Is there more that we need to talk about?
I don't know if we need to, but I've had my challenges, and besides, I think I've had one more big change beside this one.
Okay.
Which was when my father died when I was 16. It was actually my first year on farming school.
Yeah.
So I was just moved out of home, and everything was exciting and new, and then he got a brain bleeding. So it was like very sudden, and
oh my,
a month later he that there was no life, so they turned off the machines. And
was he ever alert after he had the
they had bleed? They do poking, or they check senses and nerves, but nothing they thought was conscious. It was just physiological respond. It was nothing live.
So you were away from home and just kind of had to
and it was just before, I think he died the week before we had to start the exams. So I just went from but I'm good at I got good at shutting off my emotions. So I was like, I cried for how long ever it was in the beginning, and then the funeral, and then I just shut off. And then so I could focus on this, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to. And it's taken me it was shut down for some time, so it's taken me years to work through this because it was. But that was kind of another thing that kind of rips up the, what do you say, the carpet under you. Yeah. And where you find out that you think you have this picture or this view of the world, you think life is like this, and then suddenly you just, no, it just changes. And it wasn't.
Yes, you are very correct. Wow, that's awful. I'm sorry. Were you and your dad close?
We were getting closer. Yeah, it was the worst timing.
Yeah.
My mother and father had separated. They were not like divorced, but separated, and he moved somewhere. So they were kind of. I had time with him that I didn't have before when at this point. So, and that was just a few months.
Yeah.
And then he passed. So it was not a lot of time, but
yeah.
Was
there kind of a feeling on some level of, you're pursuing this family, almost legacy, even if that's not how you started thinking about it, but after he passed, was there a part of you that wanted to continue because it was something that he did, or was that did that not even come into play at all?
I can't say for sure, but I don't think so. Then I would have continued, I think.
Yeah.
But I want to say that because of that, I went to Canada. I don't know if I would have gone there if he was alive. So that kind of, it gave me strength to do a lot of things that I don't know if I would have done otherwise. And I believe that everything happens for a reason. So I think that's one of the reasons why he had to leave.
Yeah.
Or that's at least what he taught me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you kind of start to work through this after you started in with the training that you were doing, or were you starting to work on unpacking this?
I don't know when exactly, but I realized at some point that I think actually it was at Christmas, you get gifts. Great. And then I was like, and I was like, oh, thank you. And I you see yourself, you hear yourself. And I was like, okay, like, is that it? Like, I'm not grateful, but again, my emotions were shut off. So like, you cannot shut off one emotion. When you shut off emotion, it's all of them.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, I have to do something. So I started to do a lot of this healing work and digging and all of that. So
yeah,
because like I said, I wanted to feel again. I wanted to at least feel happy. And
was this in conjunction with your course, or was this beforehand?
I don't think. I think it was before.
Okay,
but kind of on the side.
Yeah,
they both happened like separately.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I think it's an important piece of humanity. You're right that you can't just shut off one part of yourself. It doesn't work like that. Even if it feels like you're doing a good job, like you're really not. Everybody sees you.
Exactly.
And it's one of the harder things that we have to do as humans too, is to go inside of ourselves and
feel the emotions. That's also a thing I teach.
Yeah. Okay.
And like you say, see the parts of yourself, because like you say, you cannot shut off anger or shame. If you do that, you take away everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot, and that definitely shapes you, especially when it's sudden like that.
Yeah. They are the two. I think there's one more actually between the two that really was traumatic, or if you can say that. And actually, it's a little weird, but let's see.
Let's go.
It was not my first jobs, but I had these jobs while taking the education.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these jobs were not very good for me. So it didn't work out. I was not very happy about it. When I had a driver's license at that time, so I would drive to work and I would cry on my way to work. and stop as soon as I got there, and then cry on my way back.
Oh, wow.
And it was actually so bad that in the morning I was seriously considering driving off the road just to not go to work. And it actually took me coaching lessons. I had a coach also, a lot of work, actually several sessions to realize that I could, just say no. Saying no to me was like, it's impossible at that time. I couldn't do that. That's why first it took sessions to realize that, okay, this is bad for me, and now I have to do something else. And it ended very bad. but I ended up quitting, or he fired me. I don't remember. Yeah. But it was a lot of trouble. But that taught me a lot to, stand up for myself, and it can come from different places, like people pleasing, being sensitive, not wanting to turn down people, and saying no again was very hard. So I learned a lot about that. And first of all, that feeling of this is wrong and doing something about it, that took me half a year or something from I started that job till I stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and again, saying no, listening to myself, and standing up for what I wanted, saying, okay, I don't want this. Okay, say it and do something about it, and then stick by it.
I mean, that's a extremely valuable lesson. But it's difficult. I really resonate with that as well. Just the fear of disappointing somebody, even if it's so bad for you. Yeah. And that's the worst thing about it. That's why, like I said, it doesn't make sense, because you're doing something you don't want to, and it's to this extreme, but you just can't do anything about it. It was like a block, you're paralyzed. And you're ignoring your own cues. Like, your body's giving you physical cues, right? Yeah. That hey, this is so bad for us. We don't like this at all. Yeah. And we're just like, okay, but I'm going to cry, and then I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to cry again. Yeah. But I think a lot of us deal with this on some level. I think you were going through it at the time, clearly. And
I learned not to let it go that far. Yeah. Again, like you said, that was a lesson.
But I think too, like, it's just a good reminder that we're not that far from it, Like, we like to think we're so untouchable, and we're so like confident, and
we know everything. Yeah. We got it all right. Yeah.
And then things can happen, and you find yourself doing a complete 180, and you're now a completely different person because you don't recognize yourself anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's scary.
It is scary. Mm-hmm. It is scary, but I think we like to think we're so far from it, like, right? Like, that will never be me. And until it is. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Until it is.
Oh, yeah.
And I think anybody that has experienced that can speak to the fact that...
I don't say that anymore. Like, I don't use... I'm never going to do that, because I know if I say that, it's going to happen. Okay. I've done that several times. Like, when I was little, like, I'm never going to dance. That was one thing. That's for girls. I'm not going to do that. Never, ever. And guess what I did? And another thing was like kids, teaching. I was like, I'm never going to be a teacher. Like never, ever. That's part of kind of what I do now.
Oh, yes, of course. That's the great joke.
So I don't do that anymore, because it always happens. But that's again where I think it's Tony Robbins say, where energy goes, or where focus goes, energy flows. So when you put so much energy, even if it's something that you hate, when you put so much energy into it, that's what you attract unconsciously.
Yeah. 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 I think there's I apologize, because I do not have the same language that you do. So, so I don't mean to sound reductive in any way, but like the power of positivity, right? Like, if you focus on being negative, things are going to be negative, right? Like it's there is a power in that, and there is such thing as toxic positivity. Like I do believe that you have to be able to hold some balance as well. But if we are constantly focusing on what is going to go wrong, then that's all we're going to find.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. That's like when you're learning to drive and you're saying you go. Yeah, you're driving around a wall or whatever. Don't look at the wall. Look at where you're going, because if you're looking at the wall, you're going to drive towards the wall.
Yep. No, that's, again, you said it in fewer words. So all I'm learning from this is that you should have just done this interview.
And I was afraid it was going to be the other way around, because I can stumble upon my words as well, like and just go ramping and then I found out.
No, okay. That was me this time.
Yeah.
Well, that's fabulous. So how are you feeling now? You know, how many years have you been in this, like doing this work after taking the courses and stuff?
I think it's been 6 years since I started the course.
Okay.
And almost 10 years since I started my business, the first one.
Yeah. How do you see the business, how the business has changed in kind of the different times, like before the course and after the course? And not changed, I know you said the business has evolved in a lot of ways, but like in terms of how you feel about it, what it does for you, what it brings you, that kind of thing.
Well, it's both, it's a blessing, but it can be a curse.
Okay.
Because, and this is something some people say or should say, that having a business is one of the biggest ways to grow, because you have to learn so much about yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to do all of these things you don't want to do because nobody else is going to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's true.
Learned a lot. And sometimes, like I said, you have to do things you don't want to do. Like this, starting this interview was like something I was like, it's your intuition telling you want to do it. Like I really want to do it, and this is the way forward. But then like the fear, and then you start to the thoughts and the self-doubt, like, oh, but you're not that good, or what if you say something wrong? And like you said, like you just blabber. But you just have to do it anyway. And sometimes, like I said, it turns out even better than you imagined, actually. Most times it's even better.
Yeah.
But, again, I like to just take things as they are. So right now I don't, I have a dream for my work. Like you I love to travel. So I would love to travel and do things at the same time, work and so on.
Yeah.
But it's open. Like I don't have a plan. Like I'm going to do this and this and this, because I live from intuition. So it's like, if I tomorrow feel like this is how I came here, like I want to go here. Okay. So I think it was Thursday or Friday night. And I was like, oh, I can do it like this. And then I left Monday. It doesn't have to take long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last year I left for another island. That was just for work, but that happened. That's a long story, but it happened within a month. Which is, I moved and quit my job, got the new job, and moved within, I think, 3 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's like when you live from intuition or use your intuition and you trust yourself and you go with it, it can happen really fast and crazy ways.
Yeah. And I think it also leaves room for you to change your mind in a way.
Yeah, you don't have to be set on this.
Yeah.
You can always say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do this anyway. It doesn't feel right to me, or I'm going to go this way instead. Yeah.
And I think that's such a important part of I think it's such an important piece of the puzzle for us too, because I know that I have felt this, like, I want to do different things in my life. I've always wanted to try, ever since being an adult, I've never been satisfied with one path. Like I've always wanted to try multiple things, but I also find myself feeling like other people's perception of me is that I'm flighty, or that flighty at best, a failure at worst, right? Because you're going from one thing to another. But I have done a lot of work on myself, and
Great.
Just feeling like, first of all, who cares? I know that that's not, what's happening. I know that I am not trying to, that I'm not, I don't know, wasting time. I'm not half-assing it, for lack of a better word.
It's all how you perceive it.
Yeah. And the other part of that is like, sometimes you do something and that thing doesn't work out, but it opened a door that wouldn't have been opened if you hadn't done it in the first place, right? And so like, you're just continuing to pursue the opportunities that are in front of you. But if you keep moving, you will keep getting those opportunities, right? And so it's like, yeah, this thing didn't work out the way that I thought it was going to, but it actually led to something better for me, or bigger, or different. And I just think it's such a important part of the human experience is to be able to change and pivot when we have the opportunity, and not get stuck in but this is who I am. Like, this is the way that I am, and it's who I am, and I can't stray from that.
Be open to growth, be open to change.
Yeah.
But it sounds a lot like intuition.
Yeah, exactly.
Going from what you feel is right.
Sure. Absolutely. And just knowing that you're okay. It's okay to do it, right? It's okay to change. It's okay to say, this is not good for me anymore. Or not even, it doesn't even have to be good and bad. It could just be like, this isn't working anymore. I need to shift. And with that shift comes new opportunity.
Just keeping the inner peace. That's also something I'm working personally a lot with, because when you have that, it doesn't matter what other people think or say. It doesn't matter what happens in the world. It doesn't matter what you do. Just, stay within yourself and stay within your own power and stay unshakable. But that's hard, especially as women, because we've learned to be people pleasers. So we want to do what other people tell us to.
Oh, yeah.
So they like us.
Please like me.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as much as I would like to say that I'm out of that, I'm not. I still struggle with that massively.
I think it's life's a journey. So you learn to get better, but you never get out of it. I think we have different life lessons.
Sure.
Things that we struggle with all of our life, we become better at it, but that's going to be our focus. That's our lesson. And yours might be people pleasing. It might be, for me, I think it's the confidence, the self-doubt. I'm going to be working at that my entire life, but I get better at it. I get more and more out of it. I get stronger. I get more confident in myself. But it's always there, and whenever you take that next step, it's going to blow up and say, oh my God, I'm still here. But then you're going to work with it, and then you move on, and then you step up, and then a next level and next level.
Yeah. There's just, I think, too, so much, like, even physiologically, right? You were basically talking about how, like, the negativity or the whatever impacts you, and your self-doubt and other people's perception and all of that stuff, the people pleasing, how it negatively affects you. And it made me think of the fact that, like, physiologically we are so responsive to that as well, right? And so, like, it's not something, I think it's something some people are talking about, but largely not. The way that we can hold our emotions and carry our emotions, and the way that they manifest physically. Specifically, I know this isn't an emotion, but specifically stress, right? Like, the way that we hold and carry stress and what it does to our body. And so if we can work on our inner peace and really try to focus on what's my motivation? Why am I doing this? Am I secure in what I'm doing? Do I understand my reasons for doing this? Can I be okay with the fact that other people may not understand what I'm doing or why I'm doing it? And if you can get into a space like that, you will watch a lot of your stress melt away. And it really does change things in a lot of different ways, including physically.
Exactly. That's why I like to work body, mind, and spirit, because, the mental state you're in, it affects your body. Like stress, you get symptoms. That's a consequence. You actually, and I think there's a lot of research, especially from America. It's not a lot in Denmark, but a lot from America on how you can make yourself sick, how you think yourself sick by thinking negatively or whatever it is.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And I think important to validate, right? Because we're also so convinced that it's all in our head and that, if we could just get a grip or whatever, that we would be fine. And it's like, no, these are actual things that are affecting us and changing us. And, we could be changing in really great ways, but we're not, because we're too focused on all of this bad stuff that's happening. So
just think about placebo. There's so many studies that can tell you, I don't remember all of them, but I've researched, so I know a few, especially, I think one of the big ones was someone with, was it Parkinson or something? They did a test where 13 people got a surgery. Some of them didn't get the real surgery. They just cut open and then closed it again. And I think it was like maybe 9 out of the 13 that got better. But there was especially this woman, she was perfect. She got better. She was well and all of that and happy. And then they told her she didn't get the surgery, and she went right back into the shaking and she went really bad. And then they got her the real surgery, and then it was okay again. But the power of, thoughts and, just someone telling you, this is what happens. And that could be a friend telling you, or maybe like teachers in school telling you you're stupid. Think about how that can affect the rest of your life and how you're feeling, how you're thinking.
Yeah. And in that way, not necessarily thinking about ourselves, but understanding and hoping or having grace and compassion for other people, because in not knowing, like,
exactly,
what they've been through, and not just
what they're going through.
They're going through.
The last few years I've been studying a lot of kind of the Buddhism monk way, and that is especially one of the things, like, treat everyone with kindness and compassion, because you don't know what they're going through, and even if they have a bad day, I still smile and say, hey.
Yeah.
And then maybe it changes their day, maybe it doesn't, but it doesn't matter, just...
Right. It doesn't affect you in any negative way to be kind.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, it makes you better.
Yeah.
It makes you happy. There's also research about that.
See, all of the things.
Helping people makes you happy.
Help people. Exactly. Have grace and compassion. That's
exactly.
Rules for life.
Exactly.
That's good. Yeah. So there is a question that I ask everybody at the end of each show. And it is, through the lens of your experience, what does compassion mean to you?
Oh, everything. I feel like saying it's because it's what keeps us together. If we don't, like we just talked about, if we don't have compassion towards each other, we cannot be around each other. And it's also important to, I think that, be inclusive. Like, get everyone in, and like everybody has a place, and this acceptance, especially in my own relationships, I'd like to, if I have a bad day, I might show up to a birthday, but that I can go into a room if I feel like, okay, now I just need a moment for myself, or anyone else, that, that there's room to, if you're not the most social person, that you can go outside for a while, or you can just go and sit in a corner if that's what you like to do. But there's room for everyone, and like you say, share compassion, like understanding and empathy.
Yeah. I really like the picture that you've painted of inclusivity, but that has space for different differences. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think a lot of times when we think of inclusivity, it's like one big room of people, right? But like what you've just described is a house in my mind, is a house with a lot of different rooms, and everybody's in the house together, but not everybody's in the same room.
And they don't have to be in the same way. But that's one of the things, at least I think many places, but in Denmark, you try to make all kids in school the same, and you teach them in the same way, but they don't work the same way, and that then you lose some kids on the ground, or however you say that, you lose them because they need it in a different way. It's like knowing that people are different and we learn in different ways and we need different things, and then accepting that and create space for that.
Yeah. We're different, but we all need the same things in love, respect, dignity, compassion,
connection.
Yeah. Huge.
All of those things.
Yeah.
Exactly. Amazing.
Well, this was fabulous. Thank you so much for coming.
Very fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, having this conversation. It's great to meet you. Thank you for listening to The Human Experience. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, share it with your friends and family, share it on social media, and rate and review it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can also support the podcast financially by going to my website, thehxpod.com, linked in the show notes, and clicking on Donate. It takes a lot of time and resources to create this podcast, so every little bit helps. Everyone has a story, and I'd love to hear yours. So be sure to check out the show notes for more information about how to stay in touch. Do good and love well.